I got another email from another old friend of mine, Brian Lieberman, who he's a fan of the drinking investigative reporting on the 605 podcast several years ago. He's
smart man.
Committed that chapter and verse to memory. But anyway, he had a question that I wanted to mention because everybody said, oh, Cornette hate women's wrestling. Cornette doesn't like the women wrestlers. No, I dislike bad wrestling of all genders, and I also am a little bit overfed with the amount of it in the quantity of the promotions these days. But he had an interesting question because he thought we should discuss how Luna Vachon would have fared now in today's women's wrestling environment versus with talent like Rhea Ripley and on versus the time that she was in, where it was transitioning from the girls being booked for a week or two in each territory and moving around as just a special attraction, and weren't really utilized anywhere in ongoing programs and angles, and then the WWF 90s general, where they started using the girls, and Luna was featured, but just as the whole thing started expanding, her career was over. And I thought that was a pretty good question because Luna, again, she was smart to the business psychologically because she had grown up around it. She was Butcher Vachon just passed away, we should mention, last week. And Luna was his daughter, adopted daughter, before somebody does, oh, I got you. But she was in the family, and she was took a lot of pride in the name that Vachon had from her Aunt Vivian and Mad Dog, and not only in the Quebec territory, but around the world with Mad Dog. And she was very respectful of the business, but she understood it, and she was smart to it. And she knew that she wanted to be a part of it because she was fascinated by it. And she knew that as a wrestler in the days that she started, she was only going to, be booked here and there every so often or whatever, but she wanted to be good at it when she was. And she understood how to work. But she also understood that if she had a personality, if she could talk, if she could do everything in wrestling, if she could be crazy, whatever, then she could get used in angles with the guys, Kevin Sullivan's group, right? That was huge and went for a while in Florida. And because she had the personality, if she was in the corner looking crazy and she could take bumps, and she was a personality, but like Sherry. But at the same time, she can work in the main event guys programs instead of just being somebody on the card every once in a while. And she got good at that. So she was well-rounded. And that's what, now that the females have a chance to perform for good or bad, hers was good. It would have benefited her, and she could talk. She didn't need to be handed, a script and just give her the fucking idea. She's going to do it the way Looney would do it, right? So I think that unfortunately she was just ahead of her time. Not in any kind of, she wasn't ahead of her time and have a Coronas off the top rope. And I mean, she probably would have dove through any amount of furniture because she was tougher than lead. But she understood the business. She could have been much bigger of a personality now that the good and bad women are allowed to be much bigger personalities. I think she would have prospered.
I think if Luna was here, she would hate your audio. Also, I'm pretty sure she would be getting dropped on her head by one of the unprofessional women in AEW right now.
Well, I think she'd be getting back up and dropping a few back the other way.
And then they would punish her by suspending her with pay forever. The AEW way.
But anyway, I've got a VHS tape on my shelf right here in the office of me working with Luna at a spot show in Connecticut. Intergender wrestling with Jim Cornette. Because it was when I was
Because you found a woman who could work
booking.
better than you can for once.
Well, and definitely did. She let me lead it, however, because I was the heel. But the thing is it was when I was booking spot shows for this gentleman in Connecticut while I was up there, and I was booking the third party talent to the promoters, right? And getting the guys and girls that weren't getting a lot of work, they could work for, wrestling promoters. The Steve Austins of the world would get the big mall autograph signings. Well, one of the guys who was doing the big mall autograph signings wanted to run spot shows, and he was hooked up with some of these high schools in Connecticut. So he would have booked through me the guys and girls that weren't working and weren't getting a lot of dates. And then he'd have me for an extra fee, to be quite honest, discussed between he and I and not related to any deal with the World Wrestling Federation or its associates. I put the card together for him and put finishes together so that the people would be happy and blah, blah, blah. And one time it came up and we had Luna, and I can't remember if she was going to be in somebody else or if I can't remember how it came up, but I said, well, hey, you want to just work with me and we'll both work on the show, right? And then I'll pay myself for wrestling. And she said yes. And we did the heel manager versus babyface girl. I came out, I fucking cut a promo on this packed he had 2,500 people at this goddamn big high school gym in Connecticut. I'd have to look at my book to remember the town. And they were fucking raving crazy because it was all the local people he was tied into. They hadn't seen a lot of live wrestling, and they're seeing all these people from television. So I cut the promo and insulted them. Luna came out, babyface rah-rah, and we worked a Tennessee spot show match, which she understood exactly, probably the only other human in that building besides me that knew the Tennessee tiptoe spot at that point in time. And if there was 500 kids below the age of 12 in the audience, and they went absolutely ape shit. And she beat the shit out of me because she was a muscular woman and I'm a wimpy heel manager. And but anyway, that's the kind of thing that she was good at, is just going out and working, just call the shit in the ring, and what the people are enjoying, the simple things in life, and make it make sense. And so I really think she would have done well.
She would have done well in AEW because she had experience working with Dink.
Wait a minute. What? Now you're a bigger WWF expert than I am. When did Luna have a program with Dink?
It was Luna and Bam Bam versus Doink and Dink.
Oh, goddamn, that's right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. There are perils when it comes to working with midgets. Let's say they shoot you off and they go for a gut shot when you're coming off the ropes. If their aim is off, you're fucked. I found that out the hard way with Butch Cassidy, the world's meanest midget wrestler, in Cookeville, Tennessee, I'll have you know.